How? How could you take a concept as awesome as Monster Hunter and fuck it up so bad? For the uninitiated, Monster Hunter is a Japanese action game franchise and one of my personal favorites. It's a series all about killing giant monsters and then using their parts to make better weapons and armor to fight even better monsters. You usually start out as a basic bitch hunter, but by the end of it, you're taking on multiple giant beasts in thrilling battles across beautiful environments rife with gorgeous creatures. It's an awesome game series with epic set pieces, blood-pumping combat, and a beautiful Japanese aesthetic to tie it all together. Alright, now take all of what I just said, right? Throw it in the garbage, and take Milla Jovovich, make her an unlikable asshole, and put her in an isekai where a US Army convoy gets sucked into a world full of monsters, where the main character runs around a bland-looking desert for 75% of the movie. That's Monster Hunter starring Milla Jovovich. Doesn't sound very fun, right? Well, congratulations, you just won the Things That Aren't As Obvious to Paul W.S. Anderson award. Monster Hunter is one of the worst, most lazy, shittily edited, horribly acted, and franchise bastardizing movies I've ever seen. The plot, if you can call it that, is that the character of Natalie Artemis, played by Milla Jovovich, gets sucked into an alternate dimension along with her army convoy and has to fight off monsters. That's pretty much it. There's some stuff going on with a mysterious tower, but none of it ever matters. The plot goes nowhere, the characters are all assholes, and the only one I liked was this hunter who isn't even ever given a name, played by Tony Jaa, because he beats the shit out of Natalie for being obnoxious, and I found it extremely cathartic due to her awful attitude. Even the Admiral, who also isn't even given a name, played by Ron Perlman, is awful. Fucking Ron Perlman! The same man who made the character of Hellboy so charming and charismatic is awful in this movie. All the other characters come off as just obnoxious or boring, and they get killed off faster than teens in a slasher movie. The editing is also atrocious, with so many jump cuts in a fight scene that you'd think the editor had a seizure working on this thing. Not to mention, why make this an isekai to begin with? What's the point? I don't get where the whole army thing comes in. The games had nothing to do with the United States Armed Forces. Just think to yourself when you're about to play Monster Hunter, right? So what do you think you're going to use? A sword and shield? Some kind of bow, maybe? Or, I know, how about loads and loads of guns? Because that's what this franchise is all about, right? Loads of guns! Because guns make this franchise so much better! Fucking piece of shit. Now, before I go any further, I want to point out one thing I did like about this movie, which is the actual designs for the monsters themselves, which are pretty accurate to their game counterparts. They got almost all of the lore wrong, but the actual designs are fine, as well as the sound design for them. Going back to what I hate about this movie, how do you make Monster Hunter boring? They managed to do it. Most of the focus isn't even on the monsters, and instead focuses on the boring protagonists and a horrible storytelling.
Warning, the next few minutes is going to be me complaining about the inaccuracies with the monsters, so just prepare for it.
Why is the Diablos not labeled as a Black Diablos? Why are there Nesilla Nocturnal? That was never a thing in the games. Why are the deserts not populated with more Apsaros? Why in the blue fuck is the Rathalos labeled as the most powerful monster when fucking Elder Dragons exist? You know? Things like this, and this, and this! God, the writing in the movie is so stupid! I'm convinced that the writers took a look at 5 minutes of gameplay with this series and just thought, oh, that thing looks popular, so let's put it in with no thought given to how these things actually work. How? How do you do that? How do you suck all the fun and charm and character out of one of the most enjoyable action franchises of all time? Even the music sucks. The games had amazing mixes of orchestral and rock to give you an immense sense of satisfaction when you're fighting these things. The movie just goes, oh, that's too much effort. Here's some techno garbage that doesn't fit at all with Monster Hunter. Guys, in the end, don't watch this movie. If you want a movie about the army fighting giant monsters, go watch Pacific Rim or the new legendary Godzilla and monster movies. If you want a movie about giant dragons, go watch Reign of Fire. Hell, if you want a good Monster Hunter experience, Just go play the games. Monster Hunter World with the Iceborne DLC is available on almost every major platform now and is loads better. And if you have a Switch, Monster Hunter Rise is an amazing game and definitely deserves your attention far more than this piece of shit movie. Do not, I repeat, do not watch Monster Hunter. This movie is nowhere near Monster Hunter. It's not even good enough to cook a meal for it. Save that for the Palicos.